Hey guys, Ben Reeve here from the Hoops Crew. Welcome to another episode of The Tipping Point. I've just committed a cardinal sin. You should never do it. If you've got a system, if you've got a way that you tip, you don't stray from it. And I've been here every week saying, trust the system, trust the system. And Port Adelaide, I did pick Port Adelaide if you watched the last video, but I changed it to Hawthorn at the last moment. So, yeah, don't do it. Don't do it because you always look stupid at the end of it. So, unfortunately, that's what's happened with me this week. So, I was hoping to get about 8 tips right. I got 7 out of 9. So, yeah, I've slipped a little bit. Well, I'm not slipped. I've actually improved overall. I'm 191,000 in the nation and 60th in the Hoops Crew tipping comp, but a little bit further away from the lead, which is concerning. 5 rounds into the season. But yes, thank you, Port Adelaide, for winning against Hawthorn. That was fantastic, but you did wreck my tip. I would have been significantly higher if I had got that one right. Okay, the first game of the round this week is Brisbane versus Collingwood at the Gabba. Last time around, it was Collingwood by a solitary point. Now, Collingwood's won 3 straight against Brisbane, and they're on a 4-game winning streak after that early loss to kick off opening round. But Collingwood's only won 1 of their last 6 at the Gabba. So I guess most of those 3 straight have been in Victoria or elsewhere. On the other side of the coin, Brisbane's won their last 4 games at the Gabba and are on a 5-game winning streak to start the season coming off the premiership. And they've also won 10 out of 11 at the Gabba. So I'm going to tip Brisbane in this one by 20 points, but I'm not going to be surprised if Collingwood somehow come away with the victory. Next game is North Melbourne versus Carlton at Marvel Stadium. This one's Friday afternoon. There's 2 games on Friday this week, but this is the afternoon game. Last time around, it was Carlton by 19 points, and Carlton have won 4 straight against North Melbourne, like a lot of teams have, I'm guessing. But they've lost 3 straight at Marvel, whilst North are on a 3-game losing streak against all teams and have lost 20 out of 23 at Marvel. I'm going to tip Carlton by 15 points on this one, but I have no confidence in the Blue Baggers whatsoever. Don't have any confidence in North Melbourne either. This is an absolute snooze fest of a game. Someone's going to win it, I guess, unless it's a draw. There really should be 2 losers, though. These teams are useless. Sorry, North and Carlton fans, but it's true. Next game is West Coast versus Essendon. Speaking of loser teams, or team West Coast, Friday evening game. This one's the Friday night game at Optus Stadium. Last time around, it was Essendon by 30 points. Bombers are on a 2-game winning streak. Bit of a delayed start to their season, and with a bye and missing the first opening round due to the tropical storms, cyclones or hurricanes or whatever they're called. They've won 4 straight against West Coast, though. They've won 2 out of 3, their last 3 at Optus Stadium, both against West Coast. They lost 1 against Freo. Whilst, as we know, West Coast haven't won so far this year, a 5-game losing streak to them, and they've lost 8 of 9 at Optus Stadium as well, so it's not really a fortress for them anymore. I'm going to tip Essendon, but not by much. I'm going to tip Essendon by a couple of points in this one. All right, next one's Melbourne versus Fremantle. This is Saturday afternoon at the MCG. It's going to be packed at the MCG. Is it at the MCG? I think it is. It should be at Marvel. Maybe I've got that wrong. Pretty sure it's at the MCG. Last time around, it was Fremantle by a whopping 50 points, about 8 goals. Fremantle's won their last 3 games against all teams, so a good winning streak after starting a bit slowly this year. And they've won 3 straight against Melbourne, whilst Melbourne are on a 5-game losing streak, probably one of their worst in recent history, really. And they've also lost 5 straight at the MCG. Can you believe that? I'm tipping Fremantle by less than a kick, though. I think Melbourne will show a little bit of something this week, but sadly, it's not going to be enough. And I think Freo are just going to continue to build their season nicely and just be under the radar until we all start waking up to them around halfway through the season and realise they're actually probably a top 4 contender. That's the way I'm feeling like it's trending with them. Next one's Adelaide versus GWS Giants. This is a Saturday twilight game at Adelaide Oval. Do Adelaide ever leave Adelaide Oval? Doesn't seem like it. Last time it was Adelaide by 16 points in this one. GWS have won their last 2 games and have won their last 4 out of 5 against Adelaide. And GWS have won 2 out of 4 at Adelaide Oval, whilst Adelaide are on a 2-game losing streak and have won 3 out of 5 at Adelaide Oval. I don't want to pick the interstate side here, but I'm still reasonably impressed with GWS. Their only loss coming to Hawthorn down in Tasmania. I'm going to pick GWS by another close one, a couple of points in this one. Richmond versus Gold Coast. A couple of years ago, you'd absolutely say Richmond on this one. This is Saturday night at Marvel Stadium. Last time around, it was Gold Coast by 28 points. Now, Gold Coast, as we know, have won 4 straight, haven't lost, sitting second on the ladder, I think, behind Brisbane. And they've won their last 5 games against Richmond. Gold Coast are okay at Marvel Stadium. They've won their last 2 out of 5. Whilst Richmond has lost their last 4 straight games since getting a win to start the season, and have not won at Marvel Stadium in 11 attempts. They did have a draw in there, but they have not won at Marvel Stadium in 11 attempts. I'm picking Gold Coast here by 10 points. All right, 3 games to go. Sydney versus Port Adelaide, Sunday twilight at the SCG. This is a tricky one. Sydney did win the last time they played the prelim against Port Adelaide by 36 points. But Port's won 8 out of the last 9, so they're on an 8-game winning streak up until that prelim, and including 3 out of their last 4 at the SCG, while Sydney's lost their last 2 games at the SCG. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick the interstate side again. I don't like doing it, but the stats are there, so I've got to trust it. Port Adelaide by 2 points. I might look stupid there because Port Adelaide were useless. No one rated Port Adelaide until they beat Hawthorn, but I think it's the matchup. I think they match up against Sydney pretty well. There was a fair bit on the line in that prelim. You can understand why Sydney got over the line there. But, Port's had a great record against them over several years. All right, Bulldogs versus St Kilda, Sunday night at Marvel Stadium. The Bulldogs last time was winning by 60 points, 10 goals. They've won their last 3 out of 4 against St Kilda and 7 straight at Marvel Stadium. But they're on a 2-game losing streak after starting the year reasonably strong. Whilst St Kilda did lose on the weekend, but have won their last 5 games at Marvel Stadium. It's a tricky one. They're both good at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to pick the Bulldogs, though, by 10 points. I think the wheels are going to start to fall off a little bit for the Saints. I don't rate them that highly. I think the Dogs aren't too bad, and they've done pretty well considering all their injuries. The last game of the round is the big one we're all waiting for, the biggest modern-day rivalry there is. Don't worry, Carlton, Collingwood, I don't care. It's Geelong and Hawthorn. This is at the MCG, a Monday twilight game. Last time around, it was the Cats by 51 points. Geelong have won 5 out of 6 against Hawthorn and 2 out of their last 3 at the MCG, whilst Hawthorn have won 8 straight at the MCG. Are coming off a loss, but we're absolutely rolling up until that Port Adelaide game. And they won't be too happy after that one. So they'll be looking for a bit of payback against someone, and we're in the firing line. I want to tip Geelong, and I was leaning towards Geelong's recent record against Hawthorn, that 5 out of 6, but I just can't deny the Hawks winning 8 straight at the MCG. Teams don't beat them there at the moment, so I've got to pick Hawthorn. Sorry, Cats fans, I'm picking Hawthorn on this one. But anyway, let me know what you tipped. How are you going in the tipping? Hopefully we'll see you here next week. Go Cats. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.